Stories from the Guardian newspaper, the Nation newspaper, the Punch newspaper, and the Explainer. Let's start from the Guardian this morning. Lagos plans new hybrid health financing model for residents. The Lagos State government has unveiled a new hybrid health financing model designed to expand access to affordable, high-quality healthcare for millions of residents. Launched in partnership with the Lagos State Private Health Partnership, LPHP, the initiative aims to blend public resources with private sector innovation to reduce out-of-pocket payments, increase insurance coverage, and create a more efficient, data-driven health system. Workers kick against FG's health insurance deduction for salaries. Workers across the ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, have come against the federal government for skimming off their salaries for health insurance, saying that the move was questionable and highly unacceptable, especially without notification and dialogue. They argued that even though health insurance was a welcome development globally and a right for every citizen, especially the worker, it was the duty of the federal government to provide health insurance for its workers, just like other employers do. And from the Punch newspaper, Kwara Kebbi abductions, FG blames US as kidnap outrage spreads. The federal government on Wednesday blamed the renewed terror attacks, including the abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi and the assaults on worshippers in Iruko, Kwara State, on recent remarks by United States as the public anger over the incident spread nationwide. Secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, said Trump posting alleging Christian genocide in Nigeria and threatening to deploy U.S. troops had inadvertently embodied opportunistic violent groups now seeking to justify attacks on soft target. Terrorism. Police starting Southeast security as Kanu knows fate today. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, will today know his fate in the prolonged legal battle with the federal government. A court presided over by Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja is expected to rule on a series of applications filed by both Kanu and the federal government, including a request by the IPOB leader challenging the competence of the charges against him and seeking his release on the grounds of alleged unlawful detention and infringement of his fundamental rights. Let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper. Genocide. Nigeria rejects U.S. troops, say Trump's narrative fueling more violence. The federal government vehemently pushed back yesterday against what it described as the dangerous and inaccurate Christian genocide narrative spearheaded by the United States President Donald Trump, saying Nigeria does not need foreign troops on its soil, but targeted support from its partners and allies. The Nigerian armed forces are highly capable, experienced, and professional. Nigeria does not require foreign troops, it said. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF Senator George Akume, in a statement. Kwara, Kebbi attack holds Tinubu trips. President Bola Tinubu has postponed a scheduled trip to Johannesburg, South Africa in Luanda, Angola, as he awaits further security briefing on the kidnapping of Kebbi schoolgirls and the attack on Christ Apostolic Church worshippers at Iruko, Kwara State, which claimed 3 lives and the abduction of many. The postponement of the president's trip for the G20 and AU-EU summit came against the backdrop of the invasion of the church in Iruko in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State on Monday, kidnap of 25 female students, and killing of the vice principal of the Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga, Kebbi State, and the killing of commander of the 25 Task Force Brigadier General Musa Uba. And from the Nation's newspaper, FASA shares 2.094 trillion naira October revenue to FG, states, and LGAs. A total of 2.094 trillion naira from the October 2025 Federation account revenue have been shared among the federal government, the 36 states, and the 774 local government councils. The allocation was confirmed at the November 2025 meeting of the Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAAC in Abuja. ISWAP leader sentenced to 20 years imprisonment over terror attacks. One of the leaders of the Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, Husseini Ismaila, prosecuted by the Department of State Services on terrorism charges, have been convicted and handed a 20-year jail time by the Federal High Court in Abuja. Justice Emeka Niwit handed out the sentence in a judgment delivered on Tuesday after Ismaila pleaded guilty to a 4-count terrorism charge brought against him by the DSS. CAF names Super Falcons National Team of the Year, Women. The Super Falcons have been named the National Team of the Year at the CAF Award 2025, announced on Wednesday night, November 19, 2025. The award follows their historic 10th WAFCON title, secured earlier this year in Morocco, further cementing their dominance in African women's football. Now let's move on to the explainer. Antimicrobial Awareness Week, NOA warns against drug misuse. The National Orientation Agency is calling on Nigerians to take urgent action as the country joins the global community to mark the Antimicrobial Awareness Week, holding from November 18 to 24, 2025. According to the agency, antimicrobial resistance, also known as AMR, has become one of the world's fastest growing health threats, with Nigeria increasingly at risk. AMR occurs when germs such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites no longer respond to medicines meant to treat them, making common infections harder to cure. And that's what we have for you on the Super Headlines this morning. You can follow us across our social media handle. On Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. On X, at Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Instagram as Lagos Traffic Radio 961 FM. And you can also follow me across social media handle at Dayo Anthony.
Your home for timely